Welcome back to Magic in the Muck, a soul's compass for change. I'm Jennifer Nagel, and I'm so glad you're here. In last week's episode, we explored the south of the soul compass, the realm of action, growth, and nourishment. It's about taking action that's aligned, nourishing ourselves and our dreams so that they can truly grow. Today's guest, Lori Osborne, really embodies that spirit of the south of the soul compass. Lori is a brand strategist and a web designer, known as the Authority Amplifier. She helps thought leaders align their brilliance with their brand so their impact can grow in powerful, authentic ways. But what I loved most about our conversation is how Lori's personal journey, living with a brain tumor, navigating ADHD, and learning to live in alignment with her values, has really shaped not just her business, but her whole way of being. This is a conversation full of wisdom, laughter, and a reminder that the actions that truly nourish us come from our deepest values. Here's my interview with Lori Osborne. Lori, welcome.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I love being here.
Great. Well, let's just start with, I'd love to find out what is sparking joy for you these days?
Oh, that is such a great question. What is sparking joy? Honestly, my business is really sparking joy for me right now. I've made a lot of changes over the last year and especially several months, and it's finally clicking. And that is just so invigorating for me because I've been in this business for 9 years, and I finally made a decision to niche down, which people are just so afraid to do, and it's working. So every day I go, oh my gosh, it's working.
Wow. Well, when you say it's working, what is it within you that's allowing it to work? What drives your business or your passion?
Well, there's a few things. The clarity, I finally feel like I have clarity in what I do, who I serve, and how I do it. And when you have clarity, it can be communicated so much better. I feel like I have a more clear mission. And for the first time probably in my life, I'm living in alignment with my values. And that's a really recent realization. I think I've been doing it, but not realizing that I've been doing it. And, I honestly just really thought that my top value was just to make money and be successful. And I've realized recently that that's not my top value.
Yeah. What is it that's allowing you to realize that that's not your top value, or what is taking its place? Or
well, it's just real. Well, honestly, what got me there was my therapist. I'll just be honest. My therapist got me there.
But, I hear your therapist holding space for you and asking you the questions or taking you through a process. You still did the work to get there. The therapist held space for that to happen.
Yes. And it was just a huge realization when I got there of going, okay, my values are to be creative, to provide for my clients with integrity and quality, and to produce enough in my household for us to have luxury of travel and but I'm not looking to be a millionaire or be wealthy. Mm-hmm. But I've been sitting it for so long. I've been sitting at my desk going, Lori, you're such a failure and you're not doing good enough and you're not making enough. And why can't you be like you used to be? And, when I came to this realization, I'm like, what if I sat at my desk and went, I'm living according to my values and I am doing what I value, and how much more is that going to do? Number one, how much better am I going to feel?
Yeah.
And I have.
I was going to say, how much better do you feel? I can feel it even in your voice when you talk about the difference in values. Something settles and...
Yeah. Because success doesn't have to be defined by a number. And I think I'm finally realizing that. And I have a brain tumor. I was diagnosed 9 years ago, and it's benign, obviously. But it really shifted my entire life. Like, I left corporate America, and I part of my carotid artery, and when they did surgery, they nicked the carotid and caused a brain bleed and caused chronic headaches, and I had double blindness for a year and a half. But it led me to my business, because I started just doing stuff to go, what could I do to maybe produce income if I work again someday? And I discovered that I love building websites. I absolutely love it. I'm good at it, and I get to be creative as well as use my technical side. Well, and I kind of forgotten where I was going with all of that, but I know, because I keep thinking that I should be who I used to be pre-brain tumor, and I'm not. I have to be cognizant of my limitations. I have chronic headaches. I cannot work 60, 80 hours a week like I used to. I have to respect my health and my body and my marriage and my family. And that's what I value.
I love that. It's almost like the brain tumor, I don't know, it's like a signpost or something that that tells you to stop and pay attention. I can so relate to what you're saying, because I have MS and I have multiple lesions in my brain. And, so looking at, your brain tumor or my MS as like teachers to put us into alignment of what's important.
Oh, completely. I mean, I was in a high stress, horrible corporate job. I actually had a stroke, but I didn't realize it until they diagnosed the tumor. But the job was so stressful that I had a stroke. And yeah, I mean, the realization that I am a different person, and there were so many reasons why I could and had to produce at a high level in the past, but I don't have to now.
Mm-hmm.
So why have I been beating myself up all these years thinking that I have to be who I used to be?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not that person anymore.
So was there a pivotal moment, or like a moment that just, I don't know, that just became a turning point? What was the turning point for you, if you can pinpoint that, or was it a multitude?
Well, there's been a few over the last year. There have been a few. The first one, I would say, I am a brand strategist and web developer. I think I got that out there. I've been afraid to niche down. For 9 years, I've been afraid to niche down, and I've been serving DIYers, and not in a way that I could even really make money. And I went to a seminar, and I attracted a client that became my ideal client. Like, it made me realize when she came to me and said, I want to pay you this much money, and I want you to be my web developer. And I realized I was already serving several people in the same capacity. Just having someone else have that confidence in me made me stop and go, wait a minute, why am I not niching down and serving this audience? Why am I so afraid to do this? Obviously I can. And so that was moment number one. And then moment number two was someone was talking to me about what I do different. And I have been building on brand websites for 9 years. That's just, it came natural. I was not taught to build on brand. And when we were talking about what I do different, and he's like, well, you should be charging so much more being a brand strategist. And I'm like, am I a brand strategist? And I started looking at it and thinking about it, and I'm like, well, yes, I am. So it was like those two things, and bringing them together literally changed my business and my perspective and my authority. Like, I now feel like I own my expertise more than I ever have before.
I love that. Well, when you speak of brand strategist, I'm wondering, What does branding mean to you now, like almost at a soul level?
It used to mean colors and fonts.
Yeah.
Now it means really knowing yourself, knowing your values, knowing your ideal client, and knowing how to interpret all of that in a way that you show up your best and most authoritative self. And that's where I start now. Like I developed a whole program around it.
I love that.
And I use that for my websites now, because we have to start, because if we don't know the brand, if you don't even know who you are, who you're talking to, and what makes you different, then your website's worthless.
Exactly. Yes. So coming from a soul aligned place and listening to your body's cues of what's important to you, what are you learning about yourself and about your life that you couldn't have learned without these experiences?
Oh my gosh. Well, I learned a couple of years ago I have ADHD. I never even realized it. And that was why I started going to therapy, because I wanted to understand what this is and how it impacts me. And that has really helped me understand my differences and how to use those to my advantage instead of beating myself up. Because I also didn't realize beating yourself up is kind of a natural thing for an ADHDer. Did not know that. And I'm really good at it. I talk more mean to myself than anyone else on the planet. Oh. But really just understanding that. And I put a lot of effort into self-realization. I have a, complicated past and a horrible first marriage, and I have an amazing second marriage, and just that relationship and the brain tumor, and just with all of it, I just feel like I've really come to understand how I'm different and who I am. And I really do see my life as pre-brain tumor, post-brain tumor. And it forced me to change so many things about how I operate, how I think. And I honestly, I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if it hadn't happened.
So what are some of the things that you're grateful for?
My amazing husband. I have a God-given, just amazing partner that I can't imagine being without. And I am grateful for this brain tumor. I'm grateful for my business. I am grateful that I have the freedom, judgment-free, that I can do exactly what I want to do and am passionate about doing on my terms, with no, like, I could make $0 and I have no resentment, nothing from my husband whatsoever, which is completely different from my past. And I'm grateful for my life. I have an amazing life. I really do.
I love that.
Thank you.
And what helps you to stay grounded and aligned, especially when things get messy?
My husband first. Absolutely. I am typically used to be very high stress, impatient. If you know anything about a disc, I was a high D dominant, but I was also a high I. So I used to laugh. I'm like, the D, I go around upsetting people, and the I gets hurt because I'm going around upsetting people. But I'm married to someone that's my complete opposite. He is very patient. We never argue. He literally accepts me exactly the way I am. And I've learned his calming ways. Like, he has just impressed on me without trying to just be calm. And I actually consider myself patient now. I realized that probably about a year ago.
His calm ways allow those parts of you to be amplified and reflect back, parts that you already have within yourself.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like this is the first time in my life I've truly have unconditional love. Like, I can be me.
That's huge.
And, you know,
I can be me.
I can. And I can remove the labels of high maintenance and difficult and like, you know, I had all kinds of labels for myself coming into my marriage. And I even said something about the other day. I'm like, well, I don't know if I should do this. I'm so high maintenance. And my husband was like, why are you saying that? Like, I don't perceive you that way.
Yeah, you're giving yourself a label or putting yourself in a box that may not apply in every situation.
Well, I don't
or at all.
I'm not the same person that I used to. I mean, once upon a time, I probably was very high maintenance.
But what does that even mean? If we were to tease that apart, what does high maintenance really mean?
Picky. I was just told that so much by so many people in my life.
But I mean, you're receiving messages from other people. You're this, you're that.
Yeah.
You're a lot. You need too much. Or
yes, all the yeah. So,
and
I haven't been hearing those messages the last 15 years, and it's finally working.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah. So who are you now? Who are you today?
I am a caring, giving person. I'm authentic. I have high integrity. I give almost too much sometimes. I'm learning to value myself and my time more, and I am really, really talented at what I do. I'm a creative person.
So I wonder, for our listeners, so if someone listening today is currently going through their own muck, whatever that is, whether it's health or job or whatever that is, what kind of message or reframe would you want them to hear today?
First, you have to know your values. And then you have to align with those values and live those values. And this even goes to branding, because everybody has a brand. Your brand is what people say about you when you're not around.
That's so important. I just want the listeners to hear that again. Because can you say that again?
Yes. Your brand is what you are when you're not in the room, what people think about you, your perception of you. So I think if we're living in our values, that will show, and that's living your brand. And as a professional, if you're an entrepreneur, it's important that your business reflect that. But as a human being, like that realization that I had that I was not recognizing my top values and living according to them, that's going to be monumental for me for the rest of my life. And I just want to share that with the world, that sit and look at, think about, we have to start with, what are my values? And then am I actually aligned with my values, with what I'm doing?
And if we dig that a little deeper, how do we even explore what are my values?
Well, I got a cheat sheet. I'll be honest. And I bet there's one online somewhere where you
probably is.
When you narrow them down from 100 and get down, because you want to get down. But even if it's not that, just stop and think, what's at the end of the day, what's important to me? Is my family important?
And that's
money.
What it is. It's really sitting with that. And I really think, because the body holds so much wisdom. So it's even, asking, okay, is family important to me? How does my body respond? Absolutely. Or listening to our own wisdom. We are the cheat sheet when we learn how to tune into it.
Yes. And just asking those questions, what is most critical to me? It is very easy for me to say authenticity and integrity are just top two.
Yeah.
I will always be authentic. I will always, I can easily be accused of being an overshare, but that's just who I am. I will be honest and authentic, and you're either going to like me or you're not.
Right.
and having that high integrity of always being honest and reliable. And I kind of feel like integrity and reliable go hand in hand.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a real big difference between authentic branding, like when the branding is authentically you from your soul, this is what my passion is, this is who I am, versus branding for the sake of sales. There's a totally different energy to that kind of branding. And I feel it. I feel it from people when it's authentic and when it's not.
Yes. And it has to start there. Mm-hmm. I don't work for a big corporation that I'm hiding behind. Like, I am my brand. So if I'm not authentic to it and I'm trying to show you something that is completely not me, it's not going to hit. It's not going to, just like exactly what you just said.
I love that.
Ditto.
I love that. So Lori, anything else that you want our listeners to know today?
I would just love for anyone listening to just really stop and look at yourself and your life and ask yourself, am I living in alignment with what I value? Well, first, what are my values? And am I living in alignment with that? And if you have a business, is my brand in alignment with those values? And I will offer this if you are not sure and you want some guidance on it. I have a couple of giveaways that I'll give to you. I have an online authority visibility audit that tells me what your brand looks like. And then I meet with you and talk to you about it. And I have a brand process that I go through with people. I also have a checklist on that same website page that if you just want to look at it and go, what I need to be thinking about in terms of my brand for my business.
I love that. Thank you. And we'll put all this information in the show notes, but what is your website just for now so our listeners can hear it?
Yeah. It is bizbolster.com, bizbolster.com. And you can find out everything you'd ever want to know about me there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lori. It's been really inspirational hearing your story, and I've loved connecting with you.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful, Jennifer. I love it.
As we close this conversation, I invite you to take a breath and just notice what feels alive for you. The South teaches us that action and growth only become sustainable when they're nourished by our deepest values. Lori's story reminds us that even life's unexpected challenges can become teachers, showing us how to slow down, listen, and move forward with integrity. So as you step into your day today, let this question travel with you. What values are guiding my next step? What values are guiding my next step? And just remember that even here, even now, there is magic in the muck. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me on Magic in the Muck. If today stirred something in you and you're ready to walk this path more deeply, I invite you to join the Soul Compass Circle, a journey of reflection, connection, and soul-aligned living. You don't have to do this alone. Just visit the link in the show notes to step into the circle. I look forward to meeting you there.
I'm Michelle Abraham, founder of the High Vibe Podcast Network, and we're honored to have Jennifer Nagel's show Magic in the Muck as part of our network family. For more inspiring shows like this one, visit highvibepodcastnetwork.com, and don't forget to grab your free gifts from our hosts in the gift vault. Stay high vibe and keep sharing your light.